crazy. Oh, baby, baby. What's up, world? It's your boy Dez. We got Hook here as well. Mr. Zevious, Black Mana. I'm gonna let him drop his tag because he's got his tags.
As always, if you search the hashtag The Retro Gaming Dojo, you can find me on all platforms. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, IG, YouTube, and Twitch. And on all platforms, search up that hashtag. You will find my content.
Yes, sir. And your boy Dez. You can find me on Facebook at space boy with an I space Dez. I'm also on Facebook at the Lawn Warrior, and my Instagram's also Karmic Libra 85. Right now, also as part of the Lawn Warrior, got merch going. Got the Designer Transformer Inside Out Edition plushes going on sale on my page. So if you also Google the Lawn Warrior, you can contact me there for those. I've also got candles going for summertime. The mosquitoes bite around here. We're in Texas, so if you're in my area, gotta pick up some of those candles as well. Today we gotta cover Black Conservatism. Hook brought this concept or the idea, the topic I should say, to my attention. We talked about it a little bit. I think on a few the Tyler Perry episode, the current events episode.
Yes, we kind of brushed over it a little bit.
Yeah. So we're going to bring that back. But before we do, as usual, let's get this like a little current events out the way. So, I did see Elemental this weekend with my baby girl, and overall, I'd say it was a good movie. Okay. It's definitely a love story, but they drew you in with the plot, then kind of sprinkled the plot throughout the love story to make sure you stayed into it. So it was an entertaining movie. Definitely something for the kids to watch, and for the family to watch, actually. It's just that type of movie. Of course, it's Pixar, so you know how they do.
Yeah. They do good work.
Sports-wise, Victor Wembanyama, I think. I might be saying it wrong, but he went number 1, as everybody projected, to the San Antonio Spurs. So again, San Antonio got another big guy. So
it was crazy because everybody was saying, "Oh, Pop's gonna retire." Pop ain't going nowhere right now, bro.
He's not. He's nice.
Not with that guy. Shit, I'm hearing about that dude.
They said he plans to build the offense around himself. I mean, he's done it before. Tim Duncan, Dave Robinson. So we'll see how that goes.
I just wish that he had a situation like when Tim came and he had that veteran big man to play alongside him to kind of show him the ropes, get him used to the league. Yeah. Not that Pop can't give him that knowledge. And Tim's still kind of part of the Spurs staff, so he'll be there. But I just wish he had somebody on court.
I've seen a picture of Tim Duncan recently. It was like, who's this guy standing with Victor? Why they call him the Great? No offense to Tim Duncan, but with the dreads and the even more casual dresses, I didn't recognize. It was like, whoa,
looking like a real Islander, like It's weird seeing Timmy not be serious in the business shit. I'm used to my Tim Duncan with the cold ass fade, bro.
Right, and the stoic look all the time. Just man,
this relaxed, I'm chilling Tim Duncan is weird to me. It's like when you see relaxed, chilling Dirk Nowitzki. I'm like, man, he got that fine ass black wife. She be cooking this nigga Southern. Yeah, his wife's black, bro.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I think she's from Texas.
Go figure. But anyway,
yeah, they were saying like after Dirk retired, they had a thing and they had a potluck in the locker room, and like Dirk comes in, this nigga has a plate of greens and macaroni and cheese and fried chicken and shit. Like,
we know you didn't cook that.
You're European. No, his wife cooked it for him.
Not a lick of it. Right, his wife cooked it, not him. Yeah.
No, they were saying like, nah, Dirk loves eating that shit. His wife cooks like that for him all the time. I'm like, this nigga's Eastern European. The fuck,
bro. Speaking of,
that's just wild, man.
It's Tyler Perry. We touched on that the other day. BET, the BET Awards were last night apparently.
Yes.
I don't watch BET.
A lot of old acts. I'm seeing highlights because of channels I follow on Instagram,
Facebook.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, it's more for the older heads. I don't remember hearing of. I mean, Ice Spice is probably the youngest name I've heard out of the BET Awards.
I know last year, they had a dude. I forgot his name, but he did he had remixed the fucking Nori Nothing song, and he performed his first time he performed the song live. And Nori came out. This nigga wrote a brand new verse for nothing to do a feature on this dude's song for this show. They didn't even release the damn song yet. He performed the verse for the first time. This brand new verse at this award show. Come perform on stage with this dude. Nigga killed it. But it was really crazy, like, kind of seeing that, and then now, you know, like we was talking about off the show earlier, it's just like, there's been a real celebration of our past as far as rap on BET. Like I said, these last few years, they've been doing a lot of work with LL, and it's just been a real fucking just give people their flowers type shit going on at BET right now. Which I appreciate, man, because we should have that. Like, fuck, man. You should Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and stuff. And people listen to old bands constantly. I was talking to my coworker at work the other day, and she was asking me if I like Tenacious D. She was like, I'm going to go to a Tenacious D concert. And then she was like, I'm going to Pantera concert after that. And I was like, Pantera? And the niggas still alive? And she was like, well, like, 2 members.
Okay, well.
That's it.
As long as it's like the drummer and the guitarist, I mean, you do much.
Yeah, I mean, some groups is just the lead singer. You know what I'm saying? That's it. None of the fucking people playing instruments.
Speaking of lead singers, I hate to cut you off. Listen to my music today, and you know, impeccable, always great. Steve Perry comes on.
Yeah.
Old school journey, man.
Oh man.
What was there was someday love will find you, break love. Tonight we should have went away. If he ever hurt you, damn, I'm trying to remember the name of that song.
Don't you hate that shit?
Both worlds, separate worlds, or something like that.
I was laughing because I was speaking of just like stuff, kind of like soft rock and shit. I've been watching shit on Instagram recently, and it's been a lot of yacht rock stuff I've been seeing.
What?
Real like.
You said yacht rock. I'm
yacht
thinking
rock.
Like.
That's the kind of subgenre.
Like the Carlton type stuff.
No. Like hold on.
Like a step above elevator music.
Let me find one.
While you looking for that, be on the lookout. I've been working with my brother to getting his podcast set up. I think he's called what did he name it? Something the Beast. I'd have to double check with him. Man, it's right there on the tip of my tongue, but it's Something the Beast. Demetrius Easterlin. He's got a podcast getting started and a blog. He's gonna get started. He's getting the material together right now for his first episode. He's gonna cover a lot of sports and actually a wide range of topics, kind of like a Stephen A. type thing.
Okay.
So, got that coming. I think I'm gonna go back to YouTube a little bit here and start doing movie reviews because I feel it in my bones. We always do movie reviews as it is anyway. Might as well let everybody in on what we're talking about. So my first review will probably be of Elemental, and I did like a brief review.
Like this.
Sounds like that Dragon Ball do-rag.
Just real smooth, real fucking melodic shit like Toto, or like
I love that song, Africa.
Africa, shit like that, or like I'd probably put Tears for Fears in that genre. I don't know if they considered that, but you got like real melodic fucking shit. It is technically rock, but it's real kind of smooth, man.
Yeah.
Michael Frank's Say Almost Fire, shit like that. Call notes.
Okay. See, I consider. I mean, those fit. They had their own little genre name.
That's what I'm saying. That's why everybody kind of calls it yacht rock now.
Okay.
And I've been seeing a lot of people. I shared a thing on IG, and I was like, I don't know.
I mean, that would be more like 80s softcore, right?
And that's why it's called yacht rock now. Which kind of fits the theme, like 80s. Everybody spending money out on the fucking water, having fun. You got all this cool fucking sounding
I mean, I guess.
soft music.
I guess.
It's a subgenre, like I said.
It's just new to me. It's just new to me. You know,
yeah, it's a new term.
It's an acquired taste.
But I was like, man, I fucking love y'all, bro. Fuck, love this shit, man. I listen to this shit all damn day.
Sometimes I do, man. Shoot.
It's funny because it's like, if I just walked up into a place, bro, just regular day, I walk up in a spot, man, look at this nigga right here, man. And then I put that shit on, motherfuckers, I'm like, what the fuck? Like I said, my coworker, white woman.
You gotta get your Miami Vice outfit.
White woman.
You gotta get you one outfit that looks like you fresh out of Miami Vice. You have to.
When she asked me if I like Tenacious D, and I told her, I was like, hell yeah, I love Tenacious D. She was shocked. She was like, what? Really? I was like,
she didn't think you know who Jack Black was?
And then I started singing Wonderboy to her. This is my favorite Tenacious D song. She said, oh shit. I didn't think you were going to be serious when you said that. I was like, hell yeah, I fucking love Tenacious D. The fuck?
I love Jack Black. So.
Jack Black's entertaining as fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, I listen to Soft
And he's not full of himself as far as I could tell, you know.
Nah,
you can tell that from the roles he takes.
He's a pretty solid dude. I mean, this nigga just played Bowser in Mario. That nigga don't take so serious. At all, bro. And he looked like the only actor that was really, like, enthused about playing the role. He was, like, super into it.
He's super enthused about all his roles.
Likes working, man. I love it. I love it.
I think he's just very grateful to be in the position he's in. And I think it's nice for a guy like that.
Yeah, shit.
Considering how consistent he's actually been in the industry.
Say, hey, you know, I get to act in all these movies. I got to be in a rock band with my best friend and shit. Like, I'm living a pretty good life, you know. Healthy, successful, man. Can't ask so much more than that, bro.
But yeah, man. Black conservatism. Let's start off. Let's. Do you have a definition of black? Because we know what black is. Conservatism. Me, I'm still kind of fuzzy on.
So you actually
whole, I guess
watched
I'd be like
a video. I didn't really get to watch it, so.
But where did you stand? You are you more liberal or conservative?
I don't like to put political terms on myself only because there's stuff I agree with on different parts of the political spectrum.
So I'm guessing they would call you a moderate. You're not more
my views would
right
probably be leaning towards more conservative than anything else. But there is some stuff I like. I look at that's the liberal that I agree with. Like, I agree with stuff on both sides. That's why I always say, like, when Bernie was running, I was like, a combination of Bernie and Ron Paul would have been like a perfect fucking combo in the White House. Don't matter who was the vice or who was the fucking president. One of them two. But them two guys in the office. I know it would never fucking happen, but...
And that brings up, in my mind, that brings up an interesting thing right there, you know. Why not have like a Democrat president and a Republican vice president or vice versa?
I mean, it would never happen with this party.
It would never happen probably with any of these.
The party system. If we got an independent in the office, that could change.
Yeah, that would work.
And this is when a lot of people.
But the independents usually get sucked in either Democrat or Republican.
Yes, true. But here's the thing: a lot of people will shit on me for saying this, but this is why I say to people, I want Trump to win if he runs. Because he's not going to get the Republican nomination if he runs. But if he runs, he's going to have to run on the independent platform.
And he's a conservative.
I'm just saying. He'll have to run as an independent.
His policies lean him more towards conservative.
What I'm saying, though, is when he runs, he'll have to run on an independent ticket. And if he were to win, it would change the voting culture in this country. And that's the only reason I would want him to run and win.
That's why they don't want him to run.
Because
they're fighting tooth and nail to get this guy not to run.
If he could get elected on an independent ticket, it would prove to the American public that you can get an independent vote in the office, and people would start voting more towards, not towards party lines, but towards who would do the best job. And people need to start voting that way.
So merit. As opposed to diversity,
well, let me see,
equity, or inclusion. And I know we're touching that one a little bit early. We can come back around to that in another episode. But
I hate how when I talk to people about who they vote for, and I get why you don't want to vote independent because you feel like it's a wasted vote. But it's just like, if more people thought on voting towards, like you said, a meritocracy type situation, I'm not saying it would happen, but it would be more likely to happen. We could get people in office that would have more, good intentions for progressing things as far as our political and social culture here in the United States. But, of course, that never happen because people would rather vote for which devil is better. And it's like, no, they're both bad, bro. Fuck. But there's probably some decent people over here. Why are we not looking at them? Why are we not trying to get these people in office? Even if they're not in the fucking White House. Get them in the fucking Senate. Something. Shit.
Well, we're supposed to be defining conservative.
But let's circle back to that. Because I went on a whole political tangent there. Defining conservative. Like I said, you got to see the beginning of the video there. So what did he start with as far as his first person he covered? Because I know he was covering 3 people in the black community. No one was.
Well, the video he had identified Louis Farrakhan, Bill Cosby, and Jay-Z.
Right. And then they all represented different spectrums.
Different facets, right.
Yeah.
So Jay-Z is the capitalist, which is easy to see.
Yes, that's super accurate.
I believe Louis Farrakhan was the... I want to say Bill Cosby was the distraction.
Yes, I believe he was.
And Louis Farrakhan was the...
I'm about to pull the video up now. So
I can't remember what he was labeled as.
No. Farrakhan was a distraction, and Bill was a double agent.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is crazy.
So we could touch on those right there.
Just the idea.
But we still haven't got to define conservatism versus liberalism.
Right.
So conservatism, as I understand it, is people who are those, I don't say people, those who want things to stay the same, status quo, or as close to tradition as possible. Am I getting that close as you understand it? We could easily just go to Google. That means we could do that too.
Yeah, I think we should do that. Because typical terms I feel like are just
convoluted sometimes.
Yes.
That's why I ask people what is the meaning? I hear him talk. They use these terms: conservative. He's conservative, and he's liberal, or she's conservative, and she's liberal.
So conservative, averse to change or innovation, and holding traditional values. Favoring political context, favoring free enterprise, private ownership, and socially traditional ideas. Okay, yeah, that's
okay. Free enterprise, traditional ideas, and
socialism type.
Social tradition.
Oh no, socially traditional ideas. Okay, yeah. So things that are more. I guess in the context of the U.S.
Like keeping taboo things taboo.
Yes, so things like more religion-based type stuff, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so liberal versus conservative. Okay, so...
Now, liberalism, what is a liberal?
Liberal. Now, and I do agree with some of the liberal type stuff. Political and moral philosophy based on the rights of the individual, liberty, consent of the governed, political equality, and equality before the law. Liberals espouse various views depending on their understanding of these principles, but generally support private property, market economies, individual rights, including civil rights and human rights, liberal democracy, secularism, which is interesting, rule of law, economic and political freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion, constitutional government, privacy rights, and regulations on the role of technology in the private and public sectors.
Okay, despite the breakdown, what I heard was essentially the same thing. And it even contradicted itself, where it said that it reserves the right, adheres to the right of independence, right?
Yeah,
law. Following the law.
They believe
the word of the law. But yet it says independence before law.
They believe
Which can't be right, because if independence before law, then you have anarchy. Everybody does whatever the hell they want to. This is a hedonistic society.
It's interesting because it's like they believe in, like free rights and stuff like that, certain things, but they also believe in the rule of law.
But like I said, one of the very things you preface at the very beginning of liberal
I think
is independence of person before law.
But I think it's more of based around it's the rights of the individual, not independence. Rights of the individual. So
okay, rights of the individual. Okay.
Basically,
but the rights,
the writing of the Constitution and how it's written
before law. That's
how we should be. How the Constitution is written is how we should be enforcing things. So like human rights, civil rights, things of that nature. The Constitution and the amendments, right? Where conservatism conservatives have more quote unquote traditional, again, beliefs based around religion. That's the easiest way to fucking say it for conservatives.
Well, then that would be the
traditional is ridiculous.
Well, that would also be the Bill of Rights then.
It falls down to really the easiest way to divide the two parties is how they deal with money. That's what it comes down to, because both of them
property.
Both of them have
break that down. Property, old school term.
Both of them have very steeped in old religious values, concepts in their belief systems, and it, depending on the person, it skews towards different ends of the spectrum. Anyway, back to the money thing though, because that's really where it comes down to. Liberals are more towards free market, flexibility in the marketplace, things of that nature, like not overly taxing, true freedom in the market, in the market, Whereas conservatives are going to be probably leaning towards more keeping things level and balanced. So, not really free market. You still have some freedoms in the marketplace, but everyone's getting taxed the same, all that kind of shit, that kind of stuff. Kind of keep things quote unquote fair.
Right.
Of course, as we know, capitalism, that's not possible. So, I think we've kind of defined.
Now, what does it mean to be? What does it mean to be black and all that? Then.
Well, that is a little bit harder to answer because definitely depends on your background and your social standing.
Yeah.
But even that comes with caveats. There's always an asterisk, a but there. You can be Will Smith and be this great pillar in the black community and this great fucking role model and example, and you have a moment where you get so upset about something and you do something publicly, and then there's a huge backlash. And everyone's like, oh, he should be ashamed of himself, blah, 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 blah. Mind you, forgetting the fact that the person that you did this disrespectful thing to was disrespecting your wife. Doesn't matter the situation you got on at home. He's literally disrespecting your wife to the public. And has done it for years. And you basically let the shit slide. Could he handle that situation different? Yeah, probably should have. But you had a moment. And hey,
or he could have handled it years ago like you intend.
Exactly. Could have handled it years ago. Squash that shit. But as me and you know, that's in that very public setting, and there's a lot of money there, and dude just got smacked. We've seen niggas get killed behind that kind of shit. You disrespecting dude's woman. Seen niggas fucking almost kill a nigga behind that shit. Come on, bro. For just looking at his girl wrong. The fuck? So, and no one bats an eye, but because it's Will Smith. He's got all this money. And he should know better. Also bullshit. He's still a man at the end of the day, right?
So would that make Will Smith?
He's been demonized though, right? So like, you could have all this influence and all this other stuff, but if this was anyone else, if this was two white actors doing this, it wouldn't have been nearly as talked about as much.
Well, I don't know. It would depend on the actors.
It'd be in the news for a week, bro, at most.
Nah, it depends on the actors, bro.
Nah, bro, I'm telling you.
Okay. Let's see.
Think of somebody as high profile as Will Smith doing this, just a fucking random comedian. Okay, let's put Jerry Seinfeld for Chris Rock. Let's put Seinfeld there.
Oh, as a comedian?
Yes, as the comedian hosting.
That has to be the caveat. A comedian.
Yeah, same scenario. Seinfeld, and pick someone in the like white acting community that could be in that position of a Will Smith. Think of somebody.
I mean, they roasted Ben Affleck pretty bad for months until they proved him innocent, quote unquote. And they're still kind of on Ben Affleck because of that. I mean, not Ben Affleck. What's his name? Alec Baldwin. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about now. Yeah, they're still kind of on Alec Baldwin. Not as strong as it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
But even after the fact that they found him again, quote unquote, innocent, they're still kind of on Alec Baldwin. So that I could use that example.
That's a good one. Johnny Depp is a great example.
Johnny Depp is a good one. Yeah.
That man was fucking dragged through the mud. But that situation was completely different.
But yeah, in a situation of that, this person did something to somebody.
I don't think it would have been as severe. People would have been like, "Damn, he slapped the shit out of Jerry. That was fucked up." And then they were like, "Man, Jerry's been just talking about this guy's wife for fucking years, though, man." And if he talked about it for a week, and then boom, that's it. I'm telling you.
I got one, but it's almost like a cheat.
Who?
Robert Downey Jr.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It's almost like a cheat. Because they would immediately go back, oh, he's drinking.
Yep. Yeah.
So there, there's actors on the other side that could end up in that situation.
Yeah. I can't think of anyone who...
But as far as like that clean cut, John Cena. At this point, he's got the kind of like the clean cut personality Will has. He doesn't have like the acting acumen clout.
But he
does have the celebrity.
He not only that, but he definitely, like, if you've ever heard him speak and the kind of quotes he puts out and shit like that, he definitely gives that same kind of air of like trying to give knowledge and better people with the kind of stuff he talks about. So he's definitely someone who kind of reminds me of like what Will will do, or like shit you hear Denzel talk about when he's like speaking on like just stuff like that. Yeah. He's actually oh man, they kill him for that. You're a wrestler. You're so
just
big.
Comes in, WWE smacks Jerry Seinfeld.
Actually, he's perfect. He's actually perfect because like when people talk about that shit with Will, it was like people forget like Will's like literally like probably 6'1", 6'2". He's actually kind of built. Chris Rock's not a big guy. It's like Will's a lot bigger than you think he is, man. When you see him in person, it's like, oh, this motherfucker's kind of tall, and he's still kind of in shape. Like if you hit, you might hurt. But let's move on to the subject because once again we're kind of fucking.
I was gonna bring it back around because that's kind of like what we talked about what I said the other day, human wranglers. Yeah. And at any point, they do what they need to do to get you where you need to be. Yeah. And at this point, it's just Will Smith's turn.
Which is, yeah,
unfortunate.
And they used Chris Rock to do it. Again, like I said, he's done this shit for years. Talked about Jada.
So what is tradition at that point? If your most traditional guy is not as traditional as you thought he was. Are any of you as traditional as they? That type of idea. Come on, we know how that story goes.
I want to say it was that same gentleman whose video we're referencing. Actually, let me go ahead and shout him out real quick. FD Signifier on YouTube. I believe it was him, and actually no, it wasn't him. It was something I saw. It was Ali Sadiq.
I love Ali Sadiq. I was just watching him before I came over here.
And I believe it was him who was saying this, and it was basically like, we're looking at all these fucking like entertainers and stuff for these solutions and political, advice, and wanting them to step up and be like, why are we doing this? There's people who really do this shit every day in the community who we just completely ignore. We don't support none of that shit.
Call them crazy.
But then when fucking Jay-Z says some shit, it's like, oh, it's so profound. Da, 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 da. It's wild.
That's good. That goes to Jay-Z being a capitalist. Because he's got the money, so obviously whatever he's doing must work.
Right, and that's what people think. And it's like, no. What a lot of people just don't seem to realize is business is making connections with people. And he's been in a position to do that for a long, long time. And even his marriage, not to say, he doesn't love his wife, but even his marriage, like Beyonce's a goddamn superstar. You gotta think, him just being next to her puts him in a lot of rooms where he never would have been able to touch before. I remember people talking, remember when she had that Pepsi deal? She was in the old Pepsi commercials and shit.
Not really.
This was years ago. Anyway, this is right when they, right around the time they had got married. They had maybe been married a year or two or something like that. Okay. And people were talking about, man, Jay's got all this money. I'm like, y'all do realize that Beyonce, at the time, has far more money than he has, right?
Still too, right now?
I don't know. I think maybe, yeah. But at the time, dude, hell no. She was not, had nowhere near the kind of money fucking Beyonce had. I was just like, no. No. Jay-Z doesn't have a fucking Pepsi deal, bro. Yeah. He's not doing fucking Michael Jackson concert numbers. He's not filling fucking stadiums.
Well, does he have like part of a Pepsi deal with the
NFL? He has a bunch of shit going on now.
With the NFL,
the NFL deal. I think he's got something going on with the NBA right now too. Like he's got a bunch of shit going on. Obviously,
I gotta grab my drink.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. We're gonna take a quick break. Actually, that's a good idea. I'm gonna get myself a glass of water. Also gonna hit the AC because it is kind
of warm. Oh, he went to get something to drink while waiting. Just to let you know the weather out here. We consider this part of the current events. We're looking at triple digits for the rest of the week at least that I see. I saw 170 for the forecast for tomorrow, so
Jesus.
Definitely make sure you're getting your hydration in.
Please do.
And your electrolytes.
I stay on
and if you do your gardening, water your babies. Get them some shade. They'll love you. They'll feed you.
So, obviously Jay is the capitalist. He puts himself in these situations. People look up to him as a role model and all sort of shit. And it's just like, bro, I get looking at him as a role model as far as how to do good business. I get that. But in the political and social space, I don't know if people should put that kind of faith in that man. Like, this guy is...
Well, to that I'll say this. When the majority has an issue, they have a system or a group that they can go to resolve their issue, right? That is sensitive to their plight.
Yeah.
The middle class, or the upper middle class, I should say, and the high, upper class, all have their own whatnots they can get to,
right,
to assess and handle their situations and resolve them. Us, our people, what structure do we go to? We have to go to everyone else's structure in order to get what we need to get done.
Yeah. We go to church. We got to go to municipal courts. We got to go through law enforcement. I mean, if you got a good ombudsman or mayor or governor or whatever, wherever you live at, you're doing that.
I mean, I understand Haile Selassie stepped up and represented for people of color. But even going back to, what, the Ottoman Empire?
Yeah.
Before that, or after that, before that, which was maybe the last time we had our own kings, our own system.
I mean, outside of, like, places in Africa, but...
Yeah. So I used to tell my ex-wives, not even jokingly, just like seriously, we need a king and a queen. So that way, so let's say like the situation with George Floyd.
Okay.
And yeah, they have an altercation. They want to take George Floyd in.
Right.
You can't take him, just take him in. You bring him to our structure. Plead your case, and let us handle it, accordingly.
Now, since you did bring up George Floyd, I personally think that's a sensitive situation because how that whole arrest was handled terribly.
Exactly. So to avoid that,
hold on. Even though that was handled terribly, this nigga was not a pillar in the fucking community.
Exactly. But
I know a lot
point.
of people like be like, oh, it shouldn't happen. I'm like, this nigga was like a terrible person, bro.
But that's my point, and it's also besides the point.
Yeah.
Because if we have a structure for that, that officer brings him to us.
Yeah.
Like I said, we handle it accordingly.
Right.
As opposed to you take this in your hands because you're trying to impose the law, when your duty is to bring the suspect in order to be arraigned by the law.
Right. Yes, you're enforcing the law, but I know personally from just my correctional experience, like just the way they had this guy. What's the word? Jesus. The way they were trying to subdue him. Now, I don't know. I've never been to a police academy. I don't know what kind of training they get taught. I know what kind of stuff they're allowed to do as far as the scope of their duties. They're allowed to get a lot more violent than we can in a correction setting. Like, period. Like, as far as lawful actions and shit, right?
Right.
But I don't know what kind of holds or anything like that they get taught. But I know, just again, in the correctional setting, as far as where you can put weight on a person's body and things of that nature. It's like, this looks kind of sketchy, bro. This looks kind of sketchy. And a lot of people that have been in the law enforcement have said that. But I do like your point there. A kind of segregated government body. A lot of people won't like that term. Me saying that. Segregation. But I think if used in an effective manner, it can be helpful.
Right.
It has to be used in very special instances, but it's a hard subject to try to navigate.
I think in today's world, like when it comes to segregation, one of the biggest things is
everything is classism now.
You would lose resources.
Yeah. It's all classism at this point.
And what is it, sexism or?
A little bit of that.
Well, but it's not sexism per se.
It's getting pushed.
Gayism.
It's still sexism.
Prideism.
It's still sexism. It's but it's not just based on gender now. It's based on sexual preference, what people socially identify themselves as. So the term probably wouldn't be sexism, but it's still a form of segregation. So.
I just thought something funny in my head.
But back to the whole Black Conservative thing. So we talked about Jay. Now, and then he was the representation of the capitalist and the conservative, and
Black conservative.
For Black conservative, and he's, like I said, like what we said earlier, he's a perfect example of that. But what about Farrakhan? Now he had him listed as a distraction for his video.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's very interesting.
Well, it said that Farrakhan, kind of paraphrasing from what I remember, it might not be accurate 100%, but it's going to be mostly accurate. He believed that there was a meteor that went under, or an asteroid, whatever that may be. Yeah. And God damn it, I kind of lost my train of thought. God damn. Boy. Hold up.
Well, if I could just...
go.
If I could just...
When it come back, I'll finish it when it come back.
Postulate that. I think, again, I didn't watch the video, but just me kind of spitballing. Because obviously Farrakhan is Muslim and has very traditional, again, religious beliefs. So instead of, in the U.S., conservatives are very Christian, very Catholic, right, traditionally. In the black community, since Islam is very much practiced and very, like, different variants of Islam, 5%ers, things of that stuff, things of that nature. Yeah. It's very prevalent in the black community, right? Mm. So he would be that kind of representation of that, in my eyes, of the kind of religious kind of aspect of conservatism. It's very traditional views on how things should be done socially and even economically.
Yeah.
So I would think him saying that the distraction, because, you know, Farrakhan always preaches these tenets, it can cause people to lose focus on what they should be focusing on. As far as to, like, move forward and, you know, like, things of that nature. Because we're so focused on all this tradition and all this other stuff, right? Mm. That's just me spitballing. Again, I haven't gone and watched the video yet, but I'm thinking that may be the direction he was going with that, as far as Farrakhan goes.
Well, he also touched on Farrakhan chastising and also challenging black men to step up and be men.
Right.
Which, you know, is a big part of conservatism.
Yes. Again, these kind of traditional values, mm-hmm. Right? Men should do this, men should do that. You see that a lot in the manosphere, where there would be these red pill pushers that push that kind of stuff, or you know, not so much the alpha male stuff, because that shit is just stupid. Mm. But more of the sigma male stuff is like that. You see that a lot in those kind of spaces where people are kind of preaching like men should be men, and, you know, and these steps that are letting this Western society push us towards these values over here. It's devaluing what we should be, you know, traditionally and stuff, mm-hmm. and roles we should fill, and it's hurting hurting communities. Not just the black community. We see people talk about it all the time, the black community. But there's all kinds of things that are hurting the role of man in the black community, and we can go into that later. But just as a whole, these kind of people that speaking of the manosphere, preach that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I could, yeah. Traditional values, again, very conservative.
And he's loud a little bit.
Yes.
Definitely that.
Yes, he is. What's interesting, is Cosby, the double agent.
I think that's easy enough.
I think that one's pretty easy.
I mean, I think the court records show that.
No. I don't even have to watch the video. He might say something different from what I'm thinking, but
yeah, I didn't get to that part either.
Cosby, I would put in a similar space as Farrakhan, right? Where for years he's constantly preached this stuff to the black community. We need to do this. We need to do that. Blah 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 blah. All this shit, and like to the point where he's almost insulted people, or has insulted people in the black community.
Filth, Florn, filth.
The joke with Eddie Murphy, and it's like there's a lot of people in the black community that don't like Bill Cosby because he talks down on people, right? And it's like, well, you're not. It doesn't really sound like you're trying to uplift people, right, fam? Sometimes when you be speaking, and although he has done things for the community and stuff like that, I could see dudes saying that, not everybody who gives you a helping hand is your friend. There may be other motives there.
I think I've seen that movie.
I mean, it's just, I forgot. It's something I heard Mike Tyson say. I don't know if he said who he quoted it from, but it was on his podcast. And he was saying, quote, and it's like, not everybody who helps you is your friend, and not everyone who is against you is your enemy.
True.
That kind of thing. But is Bill Cosby really for the community? We were talking about this shit when we talked about the Tyler Perry thing. Tyler Perry buying BET and VH1. Is this dude just a plant? If Cosby could have bought NBC, right? Obviously, the people at NBC didn't want him to do that, right? And that could be down to a money thing. That could be down to something more personal. There's a lot of old motherfuckers that run these damn networks. Bill Cosby been around Hollywood for a long time, and obviously he's gotten into a lot of wild shit.
The Quaaludes should let me in that morning.
Exactly, Quaaludes. Girls were popping Quaaludes at them parties. And that's another thing with the whole double agent thing. We see this image of Bill, and he's been married with his wife for fucking forever, and he's been this clean guy. He presents this image, and it's like, bro, in the 60s and 70s, you were partying and getting drunk and getting high and all kinds. You was doing everything what everybody else was doing, bro.
Was that Saturday Night Fever with John Poitier? Or Sidney Poitier, my bad. Sidney
What's the Saturday? Yeah, Saturday Night Fever, yeah. That image we saw of you being in the club, that was you, bro. That was really you. You was in the club. You was outside all the time. That was really Bill back in the day.
You better leave him alone before you find your phone number. I don't think you want that smoke. You dare get on the podcast talking about me. Oh, my bad, folks. Long week already.
Shit, I feel you, bro.
You get on for the podcast talking about me. Your filth, Florn, filth.
Jello. But all right, Bill.
I tell you what, they acquitted me and now I'm innocent. I roll with you, Bill. No, I was wrong.
I don't believe all those women. I don't.
I don't need to believe all of them. I know they're all wrong.
I'm sorry. I just don't.
I'm not victim shaming.
Did Bill fuck all these women? Probably.
Not victim shaming. Not in any way, shape, or form. I'm not victim shaming. But I'm going to attack liars. I do that pretty well.
I've been saying that every trial. Ever since that trial happened, people are like, oh, can you believe he did all this shit? Y'all really believe that he raped all these women?
Not all of it, no.
And this is what I tell people. Right? White people talk to me. You really believe he raped all those women? Yes, there's so many. Blah blah blah. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Let me ask you a question. All these women, all this stuff happened in the '60s and '70s, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Do you know how famous Bill Cosby was in the '70s? And then they kind of look at me like, I got a dick growing out my forehead. Oh, you don't know? Okay, let me remind you. He was not the comedian and superstar he was in the 80s. Mm-hmm. He was a very not well-known black comedian that was starring in blaxploitation movies. He didn't have the money or empire that he did later on. Yes, he was very funny. A lot of people knew him. Everybody fucked with everybody back then in Hollywood. Bill Cosby was not that goddamn famous.
Well, the black people anyway.
Do you really think if he had raped all these women, if a few of them had went to the police and pressed charges against this man, he wouldn't have been locked away fucking forever back then?
He sure wouldn't have sold no pudding pops. They'd have been melted.
This nigga would have never got a Jello deal. You're literally telling me that he raped all these women and got away with it in the 60s and 70s? This dude would have been fucking hung. No. He did not rape these women. Stop it. You cannot tell me that. He was not that fucking famous. His money was not that long that he could have just stayed out of court. No.
And then when the first time the chicks had Quaaludes. Again, not victim shaming, just analyzing the scenario.
Come on, bro.
You went to a Marriott hotel room.
That shit is...
That's enough for me right there.
That is... Come on, bro. This dude has been married to his wife since the 60s. Fuck out of here. Y'all knew this dude was married. No. I never believed any of that shit. And that's why he got fucking acquitted. Because the shit was false. I don't like Cosby, but I was like, nah, he's not guilty, bro. But they gonna get him. They gonna try to get him guilty. And the worst part is, it was double jeopardy anyway. He had already been acquitted of these kind of charges previous to the trial that got him put in jail. They used some fucking crazy loophole, which turned out to be illegal, to try him again.
Y'all want the smoke.
Come on, man. That shit is wild to me. And that whole situation is proof positive for me that the justice system is incredibly corrupt. I'm like, bro, they tried this guy for double jeopardy, bro. They can't just try him again for something. No, that's literally illegal. And somehow he got thrown in jail. In prison for years.
Welcome to America.
Yep.
Gotta love it sometimes.
Again, what I said earlier about black guy versus white guy.
Well, folks.
Trump is not in jail right now? Just saying.
Skills, and insanity. It works for him. Some people it works. But yeah, I'm getting sleepy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all,
folks.
folks.
We'll have to circle back to this.
As always.
I'm gonna have to watch that video, and we're gonna really get deep dive into this shit.
Y'all know I'm sleepy. I said something about meteors. I'm hungry. It's your boy Dez. Again, space boy with an I, space Dez on YouTube. The Lawn Warrior on Facebook. I'm also Carmen Cleveland 85 on Instagram. Also, if you like the channel, share the channel. Tell your friends about it. Tell your family about it. Get them in a conversation. Maybe have a little pranks with them. Have fun with the show. Also, you can support. There's a link on the page. You can support. That way, I can be here to give you guys content for as long as you need me to give you content or would like me to give you content. What you got over there, Hook?
As always, you can find me streaming on YouTube and Twitch. If you just want to see my random fucking shit posts on IG and Facebook, as always, search up the hashtag The Retro Gaming Dojo. You see me on IG, Facebook. I'm always sharing positive stuff, affirmations, just stuff from Dudism, which is my belief system of choice, things of that nature. If you want to watch the streams, you can find them on Twitch and YouTube. that's what I got, man. That's what I got.
Well, again, folks, that's a wrap. Y'all be good, be safe. We out of here. We're going to get something to eat and then some sleep.
Oh shit, some nuggies do sound good right now, bro. Fuck.